My name is Sara Mesrati. I'm the arts manager of British Council Tunisia and Algeria, but I'm based in Tunis. Actually, among us, there is Hamza Koudri, who is the country director of British Council Algeria as well. He's present with us, and I'm sure that he has a lot of input to add and to share with you, maybe during the Q&A session after just this presentation. So just to summarize, what I'm going to present today is a kind of an global overview of both countries and how is, like with a special focus on the literature scene. Maybe if you are more interested to know more about the artistic landscape in both countries, you are most than welcome. And then just getting back on the recent trend and the recent actuals on the literature scene in both countries, finishing by recommendations or maybe highlighting the most area to explore for international collaborations. So starting with a country overview, as you can see, I just picked a photo from one of the British Council musical projects, which called 24 Perfumes. So Algeria and Tunisia, uh, as much as you know, both are located in North Africa. We are neighbors geographically, and we are neighbors also in the rich tapestry of history and the culture and the arts landscape in general. Algeria is considered as the most biggest country in Africa, and it's known by its diverse landscape in arts and culture, which is giving more interest from the government and the international stakeholders to invest in the fields of culture protection, climate change, cinema and film criticism, and literature. Tunisia is not far that way from Algeria. It's influenced by Arab, Berber, and Mediterranean civilizations, and also it's characterized by its vibrant art scene, but with a special focus on literature, music, visual arts, and crafts. So both countries have produced celebrated literary figures such as Tahar Haddad from Tunisia and Katie Biassine from Algeria, who their work have left their impact and their, how can I say, like print till today, which we can discover it later on in the modern literature. So if I go back a bit, like the origin and of the state of the literature in Tunisia, I think it's common between Tunisia and Algeria due to the French protectorate colonization. So the both literature exists primarily in Arabic and in French. Basically, it's using the both languages, even if in our dialect language when we speak we use both language. So English is third language, but there is a change nowadays in Algeria, which is the surprise I'm gonna talk about later on. Although Tunisians generally use French and English for the scientific discipline, but when it comes to novels, to poetry, and the short story, they come back to the origins and they start to write with Arabic. And nowadays, modern Tunisian literature grew from a cultural renaissance in the early 20th century. So we can find like people are well known, like the essayist Tahar Haddad, the satirist Ali Douaji, the poet Abul Qasim Shabi, and others have the way of a new realistic trend in Tunisian literature by combining modern European style with contemporary Tunisian themes. What's happening recently, as you know, like the recent trends and the development in the Tunisian literature, which is the Jasmine Revolution in 2011, which enchained the Tunisian literature scene. It's really removed the mediation between the writer and the public. And the most important thing to highlight is broke the state monopoly on narrative and encouraged confessional literature and opened the door for new voices and extensive self-publishing. So as far as you know, this sector was like mono controlled by the state, but after the Jasmine Revolution and having like a new movement on political side and social side, all those rules have been broken, and it started. We started like to do more freedom in free speeches and free in writing. In terms of numbers, we can say like an increase between 2011 and 2015. There was a 70% increase in the number of books published, and 15% increase in the number of publishers, which is had mainly affected the fiction, non-fiction, and poetry. Coming back to Algeria, as it's common like Tunisia, so uh, Algeria, it's I mean, like the language used in Algeria is French and Arabic, but most recently there's encouraging literary production in Tamazight with its different regional varieties. The modern area of Algerian literature began in the 19th century, same time as Tunisia, and has gained international recognition due to its dedication to the war of independence against French colonialism. And the most prevalent literature genres include novels, essays, and poetry. So we wanted just to highlight like most of the like, for example, in Tunisia, when we talk about Jasmine Revolution and we talk about the transition in all the art, and the change happened in all the art scene, actually, most particularly in the literature. So in Tunisia, for example, we can witness in that the novel couldn't like adapt a lot. The change happened in the socio-political graphic thing in Tunisia, because it's not that type of writing that it can adapt easily the change. Again, in the opposite way, the poetry, on the other hand, can handle sudden change and uncertainty. That's why which explained an increase in terms of number of the produce productions and publishings. And there is a new thing, like a new way of writing just appears, which we call the testimonial writing. It has become a means of positioning and a part of discourses competing for legitimacy, part of jostling for a place in a history that is now susceptible to reconstruction and retelling. So, I mean, if you can see on the right side of the presentation, there is Kelb bin Kelb, which is dog, son of the dog, written in 2013, just 2 years after the Jasmine Revolution, by the writer Tawfiq bin Brik. And Tawfiq bin Brik was, I mean, like one of, I mean, he has been always a writer, but this book, it was printed and sold more than 40,000 copy. It was that moment the best of the bestseller, and it was written by using the Tunisian dialect, not even the standard Arabic. So, if we can summarize, literature gained more presence in the public sphere now in the media, with more book reviews, a dedicated television program. I wanted precisely pick the example of the project House of Fiction, which is now presented by the novelist Kamel Riahi, and it's located, or like it's managed in the City of Culture, the new project that it's happening now in Tunisia, where we can gather all the direction of theater, cinema, literature, contemporary art. I mean, different form of art are located in one place in City of Culture. Radio programs also, there's and frequent book signing ceremonies. Those kind of events, they never showed up before. I mean, talking before the revolution, now it's coming frequently. And presentation in local libraries, bookstores, and festivals. Meanwhile, in Algeria, such as in Tunisia, Algerian authors published by French publishing houses or translated into French gain more prominences, but also the topics themselves that the authors such as Asia Jabbar, Yasmina Khadra, and Kauthar Adimi, they have chosen in their work, it witnessed success. And most of the genders are from fiction to historical and biographical genres. So their work often have a political backdrop and offer critical perspectives. But in the recent years, there is an emergence of a new generation of talented Arabic-speaking authors that gained regional and international recognition. We wanted to highlight some case studies, specific examples of successful collaboration between the UK and Algerian organizations, and meanwhile, like a spotlight of what British Council can support and British Council work in both countries. In Algeria, there have been always our participation in Sila Book Fair, which is one of the main presidential literature event that it's happening annually in Algeria, and I can accept hundreds of international publishers and hundreds of visitors each year. So we have been present in the last edition through the digital library and children's workshop. This year we have La Discrétion, which is a tour, a theater tour. It will be happening hopefully in May, and in partnership with Good Chance, the UK partner, and the International Festival of Edinburgh. So there will be three performances inspired by from the book La Description of Faith Again, and it will be performed in three different languages. So that has been a translation work need to be done. It will be performed in English, French, and Tamazight. One of the projects that we supported, it was the writing residency with Amy Liptrop in June 2022, which you can find her article about her experience in Algeria on The Guardian. And one of our main work as well is with support delegations to attend such festivals or such events, whether in the UK or outside the UK, but with UK participation, like the participation of the writer Ahlem Mustaghani in the Shakespeare Lives events. In Tunisia, recently we did a workshop on modern poetry in translation, and we brought together 5 young bridge poets with 10 young poets from Access the Maghreb to translate each other's work. And this work, the English language translation produced in the workshop, was published in a special edition of Modern Poetry in Translation, which was in summer 2019. Now, like, just to finalize, what are the main changes and the challenges facing the Tunisian and Algerian literary scene? So in Algeria, in the recent years, the introduction of English and online sales facilitated the introduction of Anglophone literature, particularly among youth. Bookstores expanding their English section, new bookstores specializing in English books are quite few online vendors, and bookstagrammers posting lots of content around English literature. So which can be a highlight opportunity for UK sectors. Also, to come back to the thing that I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, even though Arabic and French languages are like dominant in Algerian literature, now Algeria is shifted to English, which my colleague Hamza can highlight more in this, because this is like the most recent highlight in the education sector. Algeria now is considering English as a second language, and which is giving more opportunities, especially among the youth, to explore more opportunities with UK sectors. What can we highlight also that like numerous discussions have been taking at both institutional and independent levels regarding the form of ebooks from the 2000s till the present, and we cannot also deny the fact of the digitization project of the National Library in Algeria, which was initiated in 2009. And till today, almost 1,200 manuscripts out of 4,000 have been digitized, and which is still ongoing. The challenge that we can describe also is about regarding the limited capacity. This is like for both countries, particularly in the editing, distributing, and marketing. The high book costs, the limited readership, as we can know that decline in the readership literature as people read less now and write more, and as audiovisual media dominates public attention. We cannot also deny the fact that the low government funding is affecting the sector, the cost of translation, which is often too much expensive, and sometimes the censorship and the state control depends. Not all the topics are allowed to be spoken on. For example, in Tunisia, the revolution made a huge change in terms of speech freedom and the topic that we can cover through writings and expression. And also, I'm taking one of the Tunisia cases problem, which is the lack of data leads to writers, publishers, and bookshops. Potential area of collaboration. So easily it can be translation projects or attending literary festivals and events, like co-working on common events in one of the countries. It can be writer residency and exchange, or maybe you can just pick research that you want to conduct together. And also publishing initiatives, or maybe we just go for digital platforms for literary exchange. So, as for I hope that I could highlight some of the relevant information that it can be useful for you to proceed and to foster those international collaboration. And thank you for your attention.